Can you hear me now, Fred? This is a fun stream, isn't it? Jesus Christ, it's been a while since we've had this many technical difficulties. Right, so what I was saying was, firstly, I went and got chocolate because fuck it. The computer had to update. So what happened was, OBS crashed. So OBS crashed, which is why the stream ended. And then the computer was just doing weird stuff. You know when computers sometimes just do weird stuff? So I thought I'll restart it, and when I restarted it, it updated. And I wonder if that has something to do with it. But it's the friggin' bandwidth. I can't... Why would the internet speed be slower on this computer than it is on every other device that is connected to the same internet? On the laptop, I've got great internet speed and it doesn't drop out. The smart TV, I never have any problems with. The phone never has any problems. And yet, it's up and down and up and down and up and down, and then it'll just drop out. And then it'll come back, and then it'll drop out. I don't understand. Why would that be a thing? I need a computer nerd. I want to just wait for a bit and see if it holds up before we do anything. I've brushed the wrong side there. I mean, there's only you watching anyway, right? I didn't think many people would turn up, to be honest. I know Welsh friends not turning up. And because I didn't put a post up and then I confused things by not having a stream last week. We might not even play the Outer Worlds, Fred. It's weird because it happens when I'm downloading stuff as well. Like, when I'm downloading stuff on Steam. It's so weird. It's just up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. But yeah, on like everything else, it's perfectly stable. So it's obviously a computer thing. And it's not always done this. It's only in like the last couple of months. I don't like it when computers start having strange problems. Especially when they're computers that I spent $3.5 grand on. As long as it still plays me video games though. Although it's been saying we've got excellent connection pretty steadily so far. Because when I did the first stream, it was like, excellent connection, and then it would go, no data. Excellent connection, not enough data. No data. Excellent connection, no data. That's what it was doing, just up and down. I mean, I know we usually have like a moment or two during the live streams where it'll cut out for a second. And you'll get a bit of buffering. And it comes up and says no data, and then it usually sorts itself out. Oh, that tea's really hot. Fucking hell. Oh, I burnt the roof of my mouth then. Christ all flipping mighty. Seems to be holding up though. I'm just going to give it a bit, just to make sure it holds up before we jump into the Outer Worlds. If we jump into the Outer If we jump into the Outer Worlds. Oh my god, we're never going to finish the Outer Worlds, are we? I think we do better on the live streams when we play shorter games. Because you know me, I don't have much of an attention span and I get bored easily. And when we try and do like... I mean, in the Outer Worlds isn't even that long of a game, you know, but... I don't know. I think we've done it for like... Well, we're on part 8. We had 2 weeks where I just talked and we didn't play it at all. And then we had last week where there wasn't a stream. So it's been like 11 weeks in total. I don't know. I love Old Tip Willow, but I get bored. Oh. Hey dear. playing modded Fallout New Vegas game and it crashes about every 20 to 30 minutes. I can imagine. I can imagine. Have some of my juice to try and cool my bloody tongue down since I burned it. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla and enjoying it very much. Because I first played it when it first came out. I actually bought it at release. And I think I told you before, I got stuck on a boss because I was playing it on PS4 and I'm not very good with controllers. And there was a particular boss I couldn't get past. But also, I thought when I first played it, I don't know if they've added more in since, but when I first played it, I thought it felt quite empty. I really enjoyed the gameplay of it, much more so than Odyssey. I mean, I think at the minute I still prefer Odyssey as a game. But like the actual combat and stuff like that in Valhalla, I think is much better. Have you played Valhalla yet? Because I know that when you played Odyssey, one of the things you said was you don't like doing stealth. So you were playing it more kind of like combat-y, whereas it's kind of meant to be played stealthy. With Valhalla, you might enjoy it more because stealth is more optional, I think, because you're playing as a Viking. And, like, you're a Viking invading England. Like, you know, you're meant to be running in, going, with your axes, killing people. You're not really, like, there's, in quite, in a few missions, like, there's stealth mechanics, and I like using them. But in most missions, you're either, like, supposed to run in screaming with an axe, or you're kind of given the option where it's like, well, we could do this quietly, or we could just run in screaming with an axe. So stealth always seems optional. Tried Valhalla, got overwhelmed by the sheer number of mechanics in the first 20 minutes. You see, I don't think it's that bad. I quite like it. It feels more intuitive to me. I quite enjoy it. I think you have to be a bit more thinky. In Odyssey, I always thought it gets a bit... I mean, I love Odyssey. And I do enjoy the gameplay and the combat. But it gets a bit samey. And I mean, I almost think the stealth's too easy in Odyssey. I think, when you can, like, mark all the targets and everything, taking out a base. I don't know, it just gets a bit repetitive. Whereas in Valhalla, I think you've got to use your brain a bit more. And I like that. I like to have to use my thinky brain. And it's probably because my everyday job is so monotonous, I think. As much as I enjoy my job, it is so monotonous. It really is. Like, the actual work, when you're just picking, because that's what I do, I pick the online orders. So you've got a gun, and it has the item on it that you need to pick, and you pick it off the shelf, and you scan it, and then it tells you which container it has to go in, and then you scan it into the container, and that's what I do for 8 hours. And sometimes by the end of a shift I'm like, oh my god, give me a crossword puzzle or something, my brain needs stimulation. Yes, the first time I played Valhalla, I enjoyed it, but I kept sort of thinking, like, there's nothing to do. You know what I mean? I would get to a point where, like, the next mission was, like, much higher level, and I couldn't find anything to do. And I was like, and it felt very empty. But now I'm playing it, and I'm finding it's a lot more full. I don't know if they've added more stuff in, because I know they did that with Odyssey. They added in a lot more, like, extra side missions and things like that for free, just in updates and things. So they might have done that with Valhalla. But I'm very, very much enjoying it. Very much enjoying it. Much more than I did the first time around. It is kind of odd to be invading England, though. It feels a bit strange. Feels a bit strange to be invading England. You know, as the Viking invaders. It's kind of... I found it a bit hilarious, actually, because I don't know how far you got in it, but you leave Norway. You and your brother leave Norway to go to England, right? And you land in England and you make this settlement. And then it's like, we need supplies to build things. I know, let's go and raid that monastery and burn it to the ground. And I'm like, we could just go and chop some trees down. No, we have to go and raid a monastery. So you go and raid this monastery, right? Kill all the guards. I mean, luckily you're not killing, like, the monks and things like that, which the actual Vikings would have done. when they first landed in Britain, they landed at Lindisfarne and they killed Father Cuthbert at the Lindisfarne monastery, abbey, whatever it's called, and he's now Saint Cuthbert. So there you go, bit of a local. I was going to say he's a bit of a local legend around where I live. He's a person who lived. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, so you go to England, right? And pretty much the first thing you do is you go and raid a monastery, right? So you raid this monastery, steal all their supplies, burn the place to the ground. Then you come back and you're like, oh, now we've got supplies, right? And that's how you get your supplies to build your settlement, by raiding places, right? And then you're trying to find allies to, like, you know, increase your influence. And what they also keep saying is, we need to pacify England. We need to pacify. That's what we're here for. We're going to pacify England. I'm like, no, maybe England doesn't fucking want to be pacified. Thank you very much. Yes. So, yeah. So anyway, you're trying to find allies. That's what you're doing, and you can pick what order to do them in. But the one that I went to first, it's like you go. It's another Viking clan who's been there longer than you. So you go and make contact with them, and you find them camped outside this city, right? And looking kind of dishevelled and not very happy. And they're sort of like, oh, when we first came to England, we took that city by force, and we killed all of their leaders, and we've been ruling there ever since, but now the bastard Saxons have taken it back. And the whole thing is played out as if, God, those arsehole Saxons, how could those Saxons be so awful to take back the city that they built? And I don't know, it's just so weird. It's so funny that the whole thing is played as like the Saxons are the bad guys. There's these awful, terrible Saxons. And there's one bit where they're like, man, these Saxons really hate us, don't they? And I'm like, yes, you're invading their country and burning their churches down. Of course they hate you. Like, Christ almighty. Oh, dear. Oh. But then you kind of get really into it, because the thing is, raiding monasteries is actually really fun. It's amazing how quickly you get into the Viking mindset, and you're sort of like, yeah, we're going to burn down those arsehole Saxons' churches. Oh dear. It's kind of funny. Yeah, but it feels weird to be invading England. It's strange. It would be like playing a World War II game as the Nazis. That's that. It's odd. But anyway, have you seen the series about the Norsemen, Norwegian comedy series about Vikings in English and pretty funny? No, I have not. I did watch Vikings on Amazon Prime, which I enjoyed very much. It's absolutely mad. It's completely insane. Like, I mean, I remember it being completely insane. But then I went back and watched some clips of it the other day, and I was like, wow, it really was insane, wasn't it? It was crazy, but I enjoyed it very much. The last season went a bit weird, but I think last seasons often do, don't they? Last seasons tend to be a bit strange. I think when they're trying to, like, wrap up storylines and give characters nice conclusions and stuff. It just feels a bit weird. But yes, I enjoyed it very much. Lagertha was my favourite. She was always very cool when she was clad in a leather armour with her war paint on, running screaming into battle with an axe. I quite enjoyed her. Look at my piercings. It annoys me that ear looks really boring and that ear looks really pretty. I need more on this ear. But yeah, I'll tell you what did annoy me about Vikings. So do you remember when... What happens if I put cat cam on? Am I going to have to change the camera for cat cam as well? Cat cam. Yes, I fucking am. Oh, for honest to God. Right, get rid of you. Remove you. Remove! And video capture device. are existing. That one, okay. Woo! Then we need to make it a bit smaller. There we go. Look at all of this behind the scenes action you're getting. Why did I want to go to Cat Cam? There was a reason. I was going to show you something. What was I talking about? Oh, yes. If we go into Steam, and we go to Valhalla. Right, you see that there, that castle? Do you remember we had a conversation during one of the talkie live streams where I was like, that's Bamborough Castle? And I got really excited because I'm like, Bamborough Castle's going to be in it. Because that's Bamborough Castle. Well, when I was looking at the actual map, I wonder if we can get a thing of the Assassin's Creed Valhalla map, England. That one maybe? Let's have a look at that one. Oh, for God's sake, I hate it when it takes you to the thing rather than just taking you to the fucking... Open image. Do that. There we go. Yeah. So this is the map. Go away! This is the map. It's only a tiny bit of England, you know. It's a really tiny... Right. So this is Northumbria, which is now Northumberland. But Northumbria used to extend a lot further south than what it actually does. And that's what it does now. That's York. So York is no longer part of Northumbria. That's another thing. Northumbria is way up here now, like where I live. That's York. So it only goes as far north as York. And Bamborough is like way up here. So like the majority of actual Northumbria isn't fucking in the game. It really pissed me off. I won't get to go to anywhere that I know. You don't even have Lindisfarne in it. But yes, that because I swear that is Bamborough Castle. That just looks like Bamborough Castle. But I actually googled it and I found a load of Reddit posts of people being like, "No, Bamborough Castle's not in the game," and being very, very annoyed about it. So it's not just me that's annoyed about it. We are literally where the Vikings first landed. That's one of the things we're known for being where the Vikings first landed, and they haven't put us in a fucking Viking game. Like, really? Made me sad. But weirdly, Hadrian's Wall is in it, so they must have pushed Hadrian's Wall further south. Because Hadrian's Wall is way further north than that. Hadrian's Wall is only about an hour from me. Is that like a comparison one? Open image. Yeah, it only goes up to there. It's a really tiny bit of England that they actually covered, you know. And yet they made the whole of bloody Greece for Odyssey. It's annoying. It's annoying. Anyway, that's my little rant. Oh my god, we're up to 3 viewers. That means there's more people than just you, Fred. That's intimidating. I'm gonna put full cat count back on. The stream seems to be holding up though. That's good. I've been going for 20 minutes. Jesus Christ. Oh, it's Soulmate. Oh, that's all right then. Oh, hello, Soulmate. That's all right. I feel safe now. We might not play the Outer Worlds, you know. Would you be really annoyed if we didn't play the Outer Worlds? Would you be really upset? If you really want me to do it, I will. But, I don't know. This is becoming a habit, isn't it? Where I'm like, oh, we'll play that. No, let's not. Oh, man. Sometimes I wonder whether I should just, like, play a different game each week. I like our little journeys, though. We have our little journeys through a game. But I think, the thing is, I just get bored. And I think, like, having the week between as well. Because I'm not as entertaining when I'm bored. I mean, I know I'm entertaining when I'm in a bad mood. or if I'm tired or ill, I'm like more entertaining. I make less sense, but I'm more entertaining. But when I'm playing something that I'm just not that interested in, I don't think I'm that. I think a lot of the Dragon Age Inquisition live streams weren't very good because I just wasn't interested. You know what I mean? And it's not that I'm not enjoying playing the Outer Worlds, because I am. I don't know. I do think we do better with shorter games. I don't want to not finish the Outer Worlds. We can't not finish Titwillow's Saga, can we? Yes, I was probably going to say a word there, but it didn't quite come out. I wonder if I could finish it as like a normal series. I'm just thinking, my little thinky brain's going. Although to be honest, like it's not so much that I don't want to play the Outer Worlds. I think I just enjoy talking too much. I think that's what it is. I just enjoy sitting here looking at myself, having a chat without the whole video game nonsense going on in the background. I think that's what it is. It's not that I don't want to play the Outer Worlds. It's that I want to do this more. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, do we have to play a game? Do we have to? Which is why I was like, oh, we'll do a proper talky live stream on like the first Sunday of every month. But then I'm like, whenever I'm sat here, I'm just like, oh, I just want to do this. I just like it. It's fun. I wish there were more days in the week without actually the week having to become longer. Do you know what I mean? Oh god, we're up to 4 viewers. Jesus Christ. That means somebody else has turned up. 2 of them are Fred. I know 2 of them are Fred. 1 is Soulmate. Got an extra. Also, I think because I do them on a Saturday, I mean, it is the most convenient time to do them. But it's like the end of the working week for me. And the Saturday shift at work is a bit, ugh. So when I get in, I'm just sort of like, ugh. I'd rather just sit and chat. You know what I mean? But then I'm like, where else in the week could I squeeze in another live stream to actually get video game stuff done? Because I mean, I can do live streams on Sundays. But I don't want to be doing it on every Sunday. Because, you know, I do have a real life as well. Believe it or not. I never used to. I never used to. But now I have a real life. So I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes you've just got to roll with me, you know? Sometimes I'm just like... And it always happens at this time of year as well. I think I said that before. Do you remember, I think it was this time last year when I went a bit weird and we had the BioShock live streams. They were quite fun. And then we had the Stray live streams where I would just go off on the weirdest tangents. We talked about sex a lot during them, didn't we? Sometimes you just gotta put up with my moods. You know, watch whatever it is I feel like showing you. There was a YouTuber I used to watch, I can't remember what he was called. And he would literally just reinvent the channel every couple of years. He did reaction videos, that's what he did. But I think he started off reacting to like... I can't remember. Was it like music videos? Because I think he was something in the music industry. I can't even remember what his name was. And he was reacting to music videos. And then he just completely reinvented the channel and started reacting to something else. And then a couple of years later, he completely... and he was reacting to, like, anime or something like that. I got right. But, like, every couple of years, he would just completely change whatever it was he was doing. a YouTuber, you just watch whatever it is they do, don't you? I'd rather have subscribers who are subscribed because they like me and they will watch whatever it is I'm doing. Oh, do you know, it's funny, I've been watching my subscriber count. I mean, it goes 508, 507, 508, 507, 508, 507. It's been doing that for about 3 months. I am not joking. We did get up to 510 at one point. But it just keeps like somebody subscribes, somebody unsubscribes, somebody subscribes, somebody unsubscribes, somebody subscribes, somebody unsubscribes. And I'm like, oh. Oh dear. Not that I care particularly, but yeah. I will get my arse together. I am planning on doing more LOL videos, which will not be going up until about October. But it is going to be a thing. I've got lists and everything. It's going to happen, I promise. Mind you, I said we would play the Outer Worlds today and we don't seem to be. That's alright, isn't it? That's alright. We can have a nice enjoyable live stream without a video game. What do we need video games for? Why do we play video games? What's the point of them? Oh, Soulmate, since you're here, have you played Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Because if you have, I have questions for you. As a Norwegian. You are a Norwegian, aren't you? Or I misremembered that. I hope I was right about that. She'll tell me in a minute. Fred needs to write more fanfiction. You got anything in the works, Fred? You were asking for suggestions, weren't you? Was it like last time or the time before? And we gave you suggestions, but I can't remember what it was we suggested. I think, was that the Sunday Talkie live stream? We gave you suggestions. You are Norwegian, yay! That came out of my mouth and I was like, was I right about that? I knew it was somewhere in that area. So, my questions were, because in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the thing that I really liked was that they had actual Greek voice actors. And although they were speaking in English, they would put Greek words in. And you would sort of like, in places where you didn't necessarily have to know what the word meant to be able to understand the meaning, if you know what I mean. And I really liked that. And all of the ambient conversation going on in the background was all in Greek. Like if you were walking through a marketplace or something like that and you'd hear people talking, it was all in Greek. And I liked that. It was nice. It was immersive. In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I don't know if they've got actual Norwegian voice actors to play the Vikings. I don't know. I haven't looked it up. They're certainly putting on, you know, vaguely Norwegian accents. But it's interesting because you've got the Norsemen, then you've got the Danes, and then you've got the Saxons. And I was just interested to know whether because they've done the same thing where like ambient conversation going on in the background is in different languages, but I don't know what the languages are. And I was interested to know whether like the Norsemen were speaking Norwegian, the Danes were speaking Danish. I don't know what the Saxons would be speaking. What did the Saxons speak? Did the Saxons speak Old English? Or was it the Celts that spoke Old English? I don't know. You see, I'm not so clued up on that particular period in history. But, yes. It was because, you know, I'm a history nerd. But as I was playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I was thinking, you know what? I'm really not that clued up on Viking history, or on just that period of England in general. Saxons would speak German, if anything. Yes! They're from Saxony. Yes, but that whole period, I'm more kind of comfortable in later periods, so like Georgian and Tudor, and Victorian. That kind of, I'm usually quite comfortable in those periods in history. And then like, I'm quite into ancient history as well. When you get to like ancient Rome and ancient Greece, I wouldn't call myself an expert or anything, but I'm you know. But when that period of English history where you've got the Saxons and Vikings and Romans and stuff like that, I'm not that comfortable in. I don't know that much about it, but I've got the itch to learn more. Contemporary Norwegian is different from what Vikings spoke. Well, yes. I mean, it will be. I imagine the ancient Greeks didn't speak modern Greek either. I don't even know if they were speaking modern Greek because I don't speak Greek. I just assumed. I don't know. Maybe they are speaking the old. I don't know. Is there anybody left who knows how to speak them? It's funny, I remember there was a BBC series called Merlin, which was a very good series. It got a bit samey towards the end, but I quite enjoyed it. It was kind of a... I wouldn't call it a children's show, but it certainly wasn't like a hardcore adult show. I think it was what you would call a family show. So, like, you know, it was a bit... It was suitable for children, so it wasn't, like, really gritty and gripping. But, it was about Merlin when he's a young lad, and Arthur, before Arthur becomes king. He's just a prince at the beginning. He does eventually become king throughout the course of the series. But anyway, when Merlin is doing his spells, they wanted him to do them in Old English. But Old English is a dead language, and that they found out that there's only maybe about 4 or 5 people in the world who know how to speak Old English, and they're all like, you know, professors at universities with like really niche interest in learning how to speak Old English, and they had to because I was watching the behind the scenes because I had the DVD. I remember when I was a kid. I remember the producers talking about how they had to email. They found, because it was like literally a handful of people in the world who knew how to speak Old English, and they emailed all of them, and they only found one who actually took them seriously because all the rest just thought they were like having a laugh. Viral Effects is here. Hello, Viral Effects. We're not playing the Outer Worlds. Sorry. I know. I pretend to be a gaming live streamer, but apparently I'm not. Did Merlin star Sam Neill? No. Colin Morgan played Merlin. Lovely Colin Morgan, who then went on to be in... Well, he's been in quite a few things, actually. He's done quite well, Colin Morgan. But he was in The Fall, I remember. Because to me, Colin Morgan is just like sweet little boy Merlin from a nice, you know, enjoyable show that I watched when I was a young teenager. And then he turned up in The Fall, which was like a really hard-hitting Irish drama about a serial killer, which starred Gillian Anderson, and I highly recommend that as well. I enjoyed The Fall. Creepy as shit, but I enjoyed it. So who spoke Old English then? Was it the Celts that spoke Old English? It's the Celtic language, isn't it? I think. Because I know Old English isn't related to Modern English, because Modern English comes from Latin, I would assume, and French. Although does French not come from Latin? I don't know. Listen to me sounding like I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just repeat things that I hear on podcasts. I should change the title of this live stream. That's what I should do. Because we're not playing the Outer Worlds. Fuck it. Oh my god, this is becoming such a habit, isn't it? This is just like... Honestly, Magpie, what are you playing at, woman? What are you playing at? Oh, if I was actually logged in as me, that would help, wouldn't it? Switch account. Me. What am I doing? Studio. Sod it, these live streams are fun, man. I like me talking live streams. Shut up. Especially when they're spontaneous. I think they're more fun when they're spontaneous than they are when they're planned. Live details. What should we call this one? Okay. Look, sometimes I just don't feel like playing the Outer Worlds. Friggin' deal with it. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. There we go. This is the current one, isn't it? Yes, currently live. There we go. There we go. Oh. Old English is also known as Anglo-Saxon. Is it? Interesting. Being very cautious drinking my tea because it's very hot. It's in a thermal mug, so it's not cooling down anytime soon. Oh my god, there's been new comments on my Blood Mage video. Should we see what the new comment is on my Blood Mage video? No, I don't even look at the old videos. I hate those old videos. I hate them. They get me the majority of my subscribers, but I hate them. Community. Back when I used to take the channel slightly seriously. So you remember how I put on the Discord that somebody had put a comment on the Blood Mage video that said, thanks for the video, but you talk too much, right? A second person has literally just put on, you talk too much. Fuck you. Oh, that's hilarious. My channel, I'll talk as much as I fucking well want to, love. You know what, people who know me in real life would find it hilarious that anybody thinks I talk too much, because the thing I'm known for is being quiet and not talking. Oh. Hey, my god. I talk too much, apparently. Well, it's me told, isn't it? That really tickled me. Hey, dear. Right, we were having a lovely conversation about Anglo-Saxon history. Yes, I was thinking I might have myself a little trip up to Lindisfarne, since that is where the Vikings landed, and they didn't put it in the fucking game. I'm proper annoyed that they haven't put Lindisfarne in the game. They haven't put Northumberland in the game. Wearing the N7 hoodie that came out during the same time as Mass Effect 3? No, I am not. I got this off Amazon. It's certainly not like a proper official one, because I know the BioWare store did do one, didn't they? And then the BioWare store closed, and then did it come back in like a different something? I don't know. But I know I was saving up to get one, and then the BioWare store closed, so I found this one on Amazon. I do like it. There's a customer comes in the shop sometimes who wears an N7 hoodie. What was that? I was complaining about them not putting Lindisfarne on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, didn't I? Yeah. So, yes, just really pissed me off. So the map in Assassin's Creed Valhalla ends pretty much at York. So it never gets up to the bit of England that I live in. And they don't, it means they don't have Lindisfarne in the game. In a fucking Viking game set in England, they don't have a Lindisfarne, which is where the Vikings landed. I mean, that, like the first time. I know, like the big invasion. What was it called? The Great something Army or something like that. I can't remember. They landed at East Anglia, which is in the game. So you know. But still, the very, very, very first time they landed at Lindisfarne, and they killed St. Cuthbert. It's one of the things we're known for, man, and they didn't put us in the game. Imagine having a game about the French resistance, and you never go to France or the French Revolution, either one. Imagine that you have a game about the French Revolution, and you never go to France. That's what having a game about the Vikings set in England and never going to Northumberland is like. Fucking arseholes. Fucking arseholes. The Great Heathen Army, that was it, yes. I was saying earlier in the live stream, before you turned up so late, I was saying it feels strange to be playing a game where I'm invading England. It feels weird. And I'm torn, because it's odd, because you're playing as a Viking, right? So you go to settle in England, and the first thing you do is you go and burn down a load of monasteries and steal all of their supplies. Right, because apparently getting your own supplies is too much bloody hassle. Oh no, we'll go and burn down some monasteries and steal their supplies. And then the whole narrative is about how, like, the Saxons are the bad guys. The Saxons are the bad guys. Because they're being such arseholes, they're trying to stop us from, like, taking over all of their cities and burning down all their churches. Like, what bastards? Why are they trying to stop us from doing that? I'm a little bit like, sometimes, I'm a bit like, we're invading their country. Like, we are not the good guys in this scenario. But then at the same time, there's sort of scenes where the Saxons are going, oh, you're just unchristian heathens. And I'm like, they're not heathens. You can't call them that just because they're of a different religion. I feel like I'm sort of, I can see both sides. So yeah, it's weird. I'm enjoying it though, I'm very much enjoying it. During the Viking raids, Magpie should imagine that the people being attacked are retail customers. Yeah. I do actually quite enjoy the raids. The raids are quite fun. Because, like, normally, I'm like a stealthy person in games. I like doing stealth. And I do like doing stealth in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But there was one mission that I've just done. I can't remember what we were doing. Oh, we had to go and assassinate someone, that was it. And it was like, well, you can either do it stealthily and just sneak in and kill them and then sneak out, or you can call up your crew and raid the place. And I was like, we'll bloody raid the place. That's way more fun. Come on, I'm a Viking, man. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. What we fancy talking about then, since we're not playing the Outer Worlds? Oh my god, honestly. What is going on with me? What is going on with this channel? Who cares? It's a hobby. Who gives a fuck? Sometimes I feel bad. I feel like I should, like, make the channel more, like, consistent. But I'm not a consistent person, you see. You know what I mean? I'm all over the bloody place half the time. So, like, you know. But yeah, I feel like I should make the channel more consistent. Sometimes I think you should take it more seriously. And then I'm like, why? I'm not trying to make a career out of it. It's a hobby. I just do what I feel like doing when I feel like doing it. And if you want to enjoy watching it, you can watch it. And if you don't enjoy watching it, you can not watch it. So yeah, if I want to sit in front of a camera, drink a cup of tea, Instead of playing the Outer Worlds, that's what I'm gonna do. Who's gonna stop me? If I want to talk too much in me bloody videos, I friggin' will! Oh. Canon Ivor is female, apparently. Yes. I like it. It felt like Lagertha from Viking. I loved Lagertha. I was saying that earlier on. I loved Lagertha in Vikings. She was my absolute favourite character. And every time they went into a battle, I was always like, you know when you love a character so much, you're like genuinely really scared that they're going to die? And I was like, and every time they went to a battle, I was like, not Lagertha. Anybody else can die, just not Lagertha. I just want Lagertha to live. And then, like, they killed her off, like, with, like, 2 or 3 episodes before the end of the whole series, didn't they? They couldn't have just kept her alive. Her funeral episode was great, though. I loved that episode. I loved that bit where her granddaughter ran out onto the ice and looked down through the ice and saw the Valkyries coming to take her away. I loved that. Loved that. Ivor is a female name. Now you see, isn't that interesting? Because loads of people say it's a unisex name. But I was like, is it? Really? I don't think it is. And you have confirmed it for me. Soulmate Jericho's here. Hello, Jericho. We're having a talky live stream. It's fine. It's fine. I just felt like it. Do what we feel like doing round here. That's what life's about, innit? It's about enjoying the moment, in the moment, doing what you feel like doing in the moment. Female Ivor is just better as well. I think she's got a lovely voice. She's got such a, I love like a deep gravelly voice. I think she's brilliant. I love her. Valhalla is good, but the Druid DLC is bad, is it? I haven't played the Druid DLC yet. I didn't like the Odyssey DLCs. I mean, there was the fucking stupid one where they made Cassandra have a baby. Like, what the fuck was that all about? Christ almighty. Because they wanted it to be that, like, her, because of I mean, what even is the Assassin's Creed backstory? Because I've only played Odyssey, Valhalla, and a little bit of Origins. So the whole sort of ancient aliens, Templars thingy story, like, I don't really understand it or care about it. I just, you know when you're playing it, and every time you go back to like Layla in the modern world, you're like, oh, fuck off, Layla. I want to go back to being a Viking. But yes, they wanted to make it so that Cassandra's bloodline carries on or something like that. So they did the DLC where she has a baby, but then they make Cassandra immortal, like she doesn't die until 2018. So you didn't need to put that DLC in there. We could have just assumed that at some point throughout the however many thousands of years she lived, that she had children. Like, you know. Oh, such a shit DLC that was. Plus, I mean, like, how do we know that she didn't have cousins or something like that? How do we know that Pythagoras didn't have more children? Like, it was stupid. Like, I don't think very many of the players would have been going, oh, but how did the bloodline carry on? Like, nobody would have questioned that. And it turned her into such a, I don't know, I didn't like Mother Cassandra. That whole DLC was just shitty. And then I thought the Atlantis DLC, as much as it was cool in some ways, it was a bit boring. It was just like the actual missions. It was the same with the other one. I can't remember what it was called. It was called Legacy or something like that. It just wasn't that interesting, like gameplay wise.
It was like they just, I don't know, it was just, I just didn't, I thought they were a right waste of bloody money. I mean, I do have the Valhalla DLCs, because I think I got the season pass when it was on offer, but I haven't played them yet. Fred got halfway through Odyssey and just lost interest. I do that with a lot of games. Odyssey really captured my heart, though. I think what got me with Odyssey was when Phoebe meets her fate, let's say, in case anybody's watching who hasn't played it. That tore my soul out. I'm not joking. It was one of those moments. And I think just the way they did it, it was just so cruel. And at that point, I hadn't been that invested in the story up until then. I mean, I quite liked Cassandra's backstory and everything. But when you get to that bit in the game, at that point, I was like, right, that's it. Every single fucking cultist dies. I couldn't deal with it after that. I was like, nah, I need to take this cult down. How dare you do that to Phoebe? How dare you? And also, the quest to find Cassandra's mother really kept me interested, because Marini, I think, is one of my favourite characters in anything ever. And as you're, like, following where she went, because you're sort of, like, tracing what happened to her, where she went after, you know, you got thrown off the cliff. And you just sort of, like, she ends up being taken in by, was it some priestesses or something? I can't remember, because she lives on the streets, then she gets taken in by some priestesses, then she becomes a pirate. And then when you finally find her, she's like leading a rebellion against a corrupt leader on an island somewhere, and you're like, oh my god, this woman's amazing. In the end, the leader of the cult is just met. Yeah, I know, it's a bit of an anticlimactic end to the cult storyline, I have to admit. Also, I think the good ending is not a good ending. So I got what most people would probably consider a bad ending, where everybody except Cassandra is dead. But I think it's the ending that gives the most closure and makes the most sense. I don't like when people say, oh, it's a good ending, when you like, because you bring Alexios back to the light side, don't you? Which I just think is silly, because, like, he's such a psychopath. There is no way on earth you're telling me that he is redeemable. Absolutely not. I don't think Alexios is redeemable at all. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. And I don't think, even if he was redeemable, I don't think I could forgive him for all the shit that he's done. So, like, no, I don't want to redeem him. Keeping Nikolaos alive? What the fuck? Absolutely not. Do you know what annoyed me about Nikolaos? Is he throws you off a cliff when you're like 12 years old, right? And then when you go back and find him and you confront him, right? And he turns round and it's like, oh, it's my long lost daughter who I threw off a cliff and assumed was dead all of this time. And he doesn't give a shit. Like, you're the daughter that he thought was, I mean, I know he's not your biological father, but he raised you as a daughter, who he thought was dead after he threw you off a cliff, suddenly turns up. And he basically just goes, look, I don't really have time for you right now. I've got a battle to plan. He doesn't give a shit. I was so angry. I remember when I played that scene, I was so angry with him that I killed him rather than spared him. I was like, no, I'm not sparing you, you fucking arsehole. I mean, if he'd appeared remorseful about the fact that he threw me off a cliff. Sometimes I think I get a bit too into the characters. I get a bit too into the roleplay. But, yeah, I was absolutely friggin' fuming with him, so I killed him. So, yeah, I like a game that gets my emotions up, you know. So I killed Nikolaos, which I think was for the best. And then I didn't try to redeem Alexios because fuck that arsehole. And then what happens is he kills Marini. That's the only bit that I kind of regret. But the good ending is to keep Nikolaos alive and to redeem Alexios, even though he's a... I mean, would you try to redeem Hitler? No, you wouldn't. um, and then what happens is you all sit down and have dinner together. And I'm like, really? Are you telling me that there is any version of the world where Marini, badass, kick-ass, awesome, amazing Marini, would sit down at a table with the man who threw her daughter off a cliff? No. 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 So, as much as I got the ending, which is quite sad and tragic and heartbreaking, I think it's the right ending. I really do. And then, like, because they all, like, become lieutenants on your ship, don't they? And it's like, how fucking weird. After all the shit you've been through, you all just sit down and have dinner together and then they become lieutenants on your ship. I'm like, no! Culturally correct. He throws you off a cliff. The Spartans did that to weak children. Now, is that not a myth? Because they've excavated the bottom of the cliff and they haven't found any evidence that anybody was ever thrown off. And all that we know about the Spartans is what the Athenians wrote about them. And the Athenians were their enemy. And tried to paint them in a pretty awful light. So, everything that is said about the Spartans you sort of have to take with a pinch of salt because it's all said by the Athenians. But I'm sure I remember reading something where they think it might have been a myth that they threw babies off a cliff. I mean, they certainly would have left babies that they thought were weak to die because, I mean, they did that all across Greece. That wasn't just a Spartan thing. But the throwing them off the cliff thing, they reckon that's a bit of a myth. But yes, the reason she was thrown off a cliff was because they threw baby Alexios off the cliff because the oracle had said that he needed to die. Because the oracle was being corrupted by the cult. And the cult told her to say that he needed to die, so they threw him off a cliff. Cassandra, being little 9 or 10 years old, however old she was, broke free from the guards and reached the priest who was... as the priest dropped Alexios, Cassandra pushed him. So she pushed the priest off the cliff. So she'd killed a priest. And then it was like, well, she has to die as well. But it's our own bloody father who picks her up and chucks her off. I mean, Christ almighty. It's a great backstory, though. I have to say that Valhalla's story hasn't captured me as much as Odyssey's did. Yet. I don't know what's going to happen yet. I'm quite fond of everybody. The characters are quite nice. I feel quite fond of everyone. And it's good, it's fun. But it's not like... I mean, Odyssey got into my soul. It really did. Like, I was emotionally invested in Odyssey. Valhalla, I wouldn't say I'm emotionally invested yet. I don't know if there's going to be a moment. Usually in games there's a moment, isn't there? Which will, like, you know... Please do not play Shadows. Ooh, why? Why? Why should I not play Shadows? Is it bad? I think it looks really good. I've been resisting the urge to buy it. Yes, I've been resisting the urge to buy Shadows. And then there was the Expedition 33. I wanted to buy that as well. It was payday yesterday, and I'm like, should I buy it? Because I promised myself I wouldn't buy any games at release. I would only buy games that were like on sale for really stupid money until The Outworlds 2 comes out, and then I was going to treat myself to The Outworlds 2. And I resisted Avowed, and I resisted Shadows. But Expedition 33 looks really good. And I feel like it's the kind of game that deserves my financial support. Because it's not made by like a big, huge AAA company, is it? I watched the Miniature Nerd video of it and I was like, it looks so good. It looks like the kind of game that, you know, deserves my money. Maybe I will buy it. I don't know. I'm on a bit of a spending ban. Although I was checking my bank account app this morning and it flashed up saying, we have noticed that your spending habits have changed. Your spending has gone down by 20%. I was like, yes! Expedition 33 soundtrack goes hard. Ooh. That's one of the things I love about Valhalla as well. The music. Oh man, I thought the Odyssey music was good. The Odyssey music still gets my heart all tingly when I hear it. But the Valhalla music, sometimes when you're just riding around, the music gets really cinematic. And it's like, oh. It's really nice to be riding around Saxon England, actually. Even if they don't have Northumberland in it. Arseholes. I don't know, it's nice. Although I think it's funny when you go from Norway to England because you start off in Norway and it's all beautiful and you've got these massive like picturesque mountains and everything and the northern lights are in the sky and it's all majestic and like incredible and you're riding around going, wow, this is so beautiful, and then you arrive in England and it's like, wow, it's brown. There's no big picturesque mountains. There's just some little hills over there with some sheep on them. It's a bit of a come down, but it's like, oh, oh dear. Still playing Baldur's Gate 3. Oh, I've sort of abandoned Baldur's Gate 3. I want to go back to it. I do. Try and get a good look at my hair. Don't know why. Just feel like it. Can't get a good enough view. It's very hard trying to figure out which way I need to turn. Oh dear. I've met Father Ted along the way. Hey. I do like Ivor. I think I prefer Cassandra. Of the two of them. I think Cassandra is one of my favourite protagonists of all time. I think she's got such an attitude on her. Kind of like her. I do like Ivor though. Ivor was a bit more serious, I think. Cassandra was a bit more less serious. A bit more less serious, yes. Cassandra's a bit more fun, but I do like Ivor. Ivor's cool. There's a few lines I've kind of liked. There was one where there's some guy is insulting her, and she just said, most men choose to be either loud or stupid. I'm impressed that you've managed both. I was like, oh, I have to remember that one. Magpie, a bit more less serious. Yeah, that should be my friggin' slogan, shouldn't it? Add it to my list of slogans when we open the Magpie shop. We have all my slogans on t-shirts. There'll be 50 million of them. Magpie, a bit more less serious. We are holding on to viewers impressively, considering I'm just sitting here talking. I swear to God, the talkie live streams have been getting more views than the actual Outer Worlds live streams. Probably because they've got intriguing titles. Let's have a look at my what's its analytics content. Live. So the first talkie live stream
Oh, actually, the first Talkie live stream got 28 views. This doesn't count. This is how many views it gets after it's published. It doesn't count like the people who watch it live. It's people who go back and watch it afterwards. So 28 views and 4 likes. Then, although the week before when we did an actual Outer Worlds live stream, it was 19 views and 4 likes, right? Then the Outer Worlds live stream that we did the week after is 29 views but only 2 likes. Then the Talkie live stream that we did the week after, 43 views, 5 likes. And then the Outer Worlds live stream after that, 31 views, 4 likes. There we go. Maybe I should just talk. Outer talk. Oh man, that's what I should have called the video. Outer talk. Oh dear. I do think maybe we should just do a little bit of playing a different game each week. We can always like go back to the Outer Worlds. We don't have to play it consistently, the Outer Worlds, every week. We can kind of, you know, like if I fancy playing a different game just as a one-off, just do it, couldn't we? Of course we can. We can do whatever the bloody hell we feel like doing. There aren't rules. How, eh? As long as I don't get my tits out or anything like that. YouTube would take offence if I did that. But apart from that, there's no rules. Outer tangents, that's even better. Magpie, the outer tangents. And then you have the inner tangents, but those are only for like the serious subscribers can handle them. I'll tell you another moment I quite liked in Valhalla. Sometimes I just have little moments that most people wouldn't even notice, and I'm like, I really liked that moment. So there's a, when you go back to your settlement, you have little like side quests pop up that people want doing for you. And there's one where I had to go and rescue some children who had got themselves into a bit of a pickle. And as we're going back to the settlement, Ivor's saying, you shouldn't go out on your own. And they say, you go out on your own. Yeah, but you go out on your own all the time. Why are you allowed to go out on your own? And she just goes, because I am very wise. I don't know what it was. It was just the way she said it. There was something about it where she just went, because I am very wise. And I was like, oh, I want to be able to say that. I want to be able to say to children, because I'm very wise. And for it to, because it actually sounded like a wise person said that. I love these talkie live streams. I love them so much. We might just do this from now on. I just really enjoy it. I just like talking. I should have like a radio show, shouldn't I? I should have a podcast. I'd love a podcast. I'd be great on a podcast. What would my podcast be about? It would just have to be a tangenty podcast. I couldn't have an actual theme. It would be a Magpie talks about whatever she feels like podcast, which is basically this channel actually. This channel is a podcast. This is the Magpie podcast. Do you remember when we were going to have the Fred and Magpie podcast, Fred? Do you remember that? Do you remember those good old days where we were going to have the Fred and Magpie podcast? I've romanced someone I shouldn't have romanced in Valhalla. I haven't got that far yet. I do know Randvi as a romance option, but I'm quite liking, what's she called? Is it Petra? The Huntress. I haven't got far enough to actually romance her yet, but I know she's a romance option because I looked up who the romance options were. When I first played Valhalla on PlayStation, I didn't finish it, but I did get far enough to have Randvi tell me how she felt, and I did start the romance with her.
But this time around, I'm a bit like, do I want to do that? I don't know if I do. I mean, I like her a lot, but she's my brother's wife. And I'm a bit scared of Sigurd. I don't know why. He freaks me out a bit. Is he going to turn evil? I feel like he's going to turn evil. But yes, at the minute I haven't romanced anybody. But I'm liking Petra. She's cool. We were going to do a podcast. We were going to do a podcast, Fred. You don't remember that? Way back when. Long, before I started this channel, we used to, when we were messaging back and forth, we used to talk about the Magpie and Fred podcast. Not seriously. We weren't actually going to do it. It was an in-joke we had. Got my little teddies up there. The reason they're up there is to stop the cats from jumping on the computer. That's why there's teddies up there. It sometimes works. Sometimes it stops them from lying on the computer like Star used to. She just used to lie on the computer. I'd be like, Star, it's a very expensive computer. Stop lying on it. Idea for a fanfiction: Quetzal commits a crime, blames it on consuming. Oh, that was the suggestion that we had for you. It was a Quetzal suggestion. What was it though? Thane. That was it. It was Thane has to do an assassination. And Quetzal is the guy in his ear feeding him information, and he keeps feeding him the wrong information or something like that. It was something like that. That was the suggestion we made for your fanfiction. Speaking of which, I already told Fred this earlier on, but my Ostwick fanfiction is coming along. I have written up to chapter 11, and once I proofread the last few chapters, because I just finished them the other day and I haven't reread them yet, but I'm going to give them a proofread, and then I'm going to put them up on the Discord for any of you who feel like reading them. It is like 45,000 words or something like that, wasn't it? I can't remember what it was I said. I did look it up. Look at little Stasies in the background. So cute. Are you so cute, Stasies? Ignoring me. Okay. Yes, I will put it on the Discord. I'll put it in the Google document that I've got. So you can read my Ostwick fanfiction if you so desire. But it is quite long, so, you know, I understand. It's a commitment, and my stories are a commitment. I need to finish Living Legends as well. Or at least work on it a bit. The thing is, Living Legends... So Living Legends is a Mass Effect fanfiction that I am in the process of writing but haven't updated for a while. But it's in my head. I think about it all the time. But the trouble is, I just launched into it on a whim. I didn't really have a plan. I didn't really think it was going to go anywhere. And then it got like loads of followers. And I was like, oh shit. But then I really got into it. I really enjoyed it. And I've created, I think, a great group of characters because it's like 200 years after the end of the war. And they're trying to rebuild the galaxy. And Shepard is in it because her implants have given her longer life. Yes, I've gone down that route. Shut up. And it's about exploring the relationship between her and Liara because, like, they've been... I think when people write the Shepard and Liara romance, they go one of two ways. They either make it really angsty, or they make it very lovey-dovey and they're just like a perfect, happy couple. And I'm like, I think they're quite complex, Shepard and Liara. And especially when I gave Shepard a longer lifespan. So like her and Liara have sort of been together off and on for 200 years at this point. And just sort of like exploring the realities of a 200-year relationship would be. And I just find writing their relationship so interesting. And I just really enjoy writing them. And then I've brought Samara back as well, and I really enjoy writing her. I love writing Samara because I find her fascinating. And I've got so many interesting things that I want to do with it. Like, I've got so many plot points planned, and I just need to actually sit down and write it. But because I didn't go into it with a plan, I was just making it up on a whim. And I think some of the earlier chapters are not so great. Part of me wants to just start again and just, like, redo it. But then I think I'll be bloody 90 years old before I even start getting it finished. Right, I am going to take a quick break. Put the kitten break screen up. Where is it? Kitten break. Boop. I shall be back momentarily. Right, I have returned. And guess what? I have chocolate. We've gone down to one viewer. Who is it who stuck it out? It's probably Fred. Of course, YouTube might just be lying. YouTube does that sometimes. Tells me we have less viewers than we do. Soulmate, yeah, I knew you wouldn't abandon me, soulmate. I knew you wouldn't. I'm eating a Star Bar. Fred has 2 screens up to 1 viewer is a dirty lie. I know, YouTube just lies to me. Lie to me. Yeah, so I'm eating a Star Bar, and then I've got a Kinder Bueno. Because I feel like it. We were talking in work this morning about what the best chocolate bar is. And we were like, Star Bar. Best chocolate bar and most underrated. You can't even get it in multi-packs, you know. You have to buy them in singles. Another Star Bar. And then because I bake a lot and because I've got nobody at home to bake for, I always take the stuff I bake into work, and I took some Biscoff Rocky Road in, which is one of the most popular ones that I make, but I don't make it very often because it's expensive, because, you know, Biscoff. But yeah, so I took a Biscoff Rocky Road in, and we were talking about Star Bars, and they said, do you think you could make like a Star Bar inspired Rocky Road? And I was like, ooh, I give it a go, because Star Bars are peanut butter and caramel. So, I could make like a peanut buttery Rocky Road. Now I thought I could put some fudge chunks in or something like that for the caramel. That might work. I like coming up with new recipes. Although, to be fair, Rocky Road isn't really baking. There's no baking involved. You know. It's a duo Star Bar as well, so you know, it's 2 of them. Right, what were we talking about? Asari ages. Max age of an Asari is unclear. They're described as living a millennium, but whether that means exactly 1,000 years or they can live a few hundred years past that is unanswered. Yes, that is true. Now, my personal headcanon, and the thing that I use in Living Legends, because I've brought Samara back, and Samara in Mass Effect 3, or Mass Effect 2, one of them, describes herself as being nearly 1,000 years old. Now, what that means in Asari terms, I mean, does that mean she's like 950? Or it could be that she's like 800, because, you know, 200 years off 1,000 might be nearly 1,000 to an Asari. But, anyway, I like to assume that she's pretty much knocking on the door of 1,000 in the Mass Effect games. And then Living Legends is set 200 years later, so she would be 1,200. So, my personal headcanon for Asari aging is that, because they don't seem to age either, if you know what I mean. They don't seem to get, like, they don't get arthritis and things like that. They seem to get more energetic and sprightly the older they get, rather than less. They don't seem to, like, physically age like we do. So I personally like to think that they could realistically go on forever. It's just 1,000 is about what most get to before they befall some kind of illness or injury or accident. You know, that's my personal headcanon. But Samara, like, is old even by Asari standards. And everybody's like, really? You're still alive? But yes, no, I really,
'cause like I say, I started Living Legends on just a whim. But I think the cast of characters that I've built up, completely by accident, by the way, I really like them. I've given Shepard a new squad. But part of me, it's just like, I don't know whether to just carry on with it as it is, or whether to go back and sort it out and write it properly and republish it. I don't know what to do. Or whether to just keep writing it as it is and just let it be a bit of a mess. Because, I mean, it's almost more like a soap opera, actually, to be honest. It's become this huge, sprawling epic. But it's almost more just like a soap opera about just little dramas that are going on with them all. And I kind of love that. And I love writing it so much. But yes, because I've sort of got... It's very Asari heavy, because I like the Asari. I mean, Shepard's squad is pretty much almost all Asari. She's got a Quarian doctor, and the Quarians don't have to wear their suits anymore. They can live outside their suits now. Yeah, she's got a Quarian doctor called Reese, who was slightly based on Dr. Phlox from Star Trek Enterprise. Slightly, although he's taken on his own life. She's got a matriarch called Maya, who is very youthfully minded. And she's a sniper. And she's never really she never went through the settling down phase. She's kind of still living like she's a maiden. Kyla, who is like a younger version of Atheta, because, spoilers, she is Atheta's daughter, therefore Liara's half-sister. Yeah. Liara doesn't know this at the beginning. The reader doesn't know this at the beginning either. It's revealed later. We've got Barbet, who is a Batarian, but he's a very chill Batarian. And I've created I've created a whole world that exists after the war, and what happens to each species. And the Batarians are on the brink of extinction. Because, I mean, the whole world got wiped out, didn't it? Fred says keep it as a soap opera. I think I will. I think I need to just sit down and write. I doubt myself too much, you see. That's what it is. It's the same with what I was saying about the channel. I keep thinking, oh, I should be doing it more seriously. I should be doing this. Why? Not a bloody Hollywood producer. I'm a hobbyist YouTuber with 500 subscribers. I can do whatever the bloody hell I feel like. Doesn't matter. I'm not making money from it anyway. Liara's half-sister, the one with the Hanar father. Yes. And the trouble with Star Wars is they're very chewy. When Atheta is talking about how she had kids with Hanar, that's what she says. She said, I've had kids with Hanar. Kids, plural. So there's also a whole story about how Kyla had another sister, and then things happened to her. And I've also come up with a whole backstory for why Atheta wasn't around when Liara was growing up, because it's never really explained. In the first game, Liara assumes her father wasn't around because she was ashamed that Liara was a pureblood. But then, when you meet Atheta, you're like, no. Atheta, I can't imagine that Atheta would be ashamed. And then you're sort of given a half-arsed explanation about why Atheta and Benezia broke up, and it was like, what was it? That she didn't have as much sex appeal if she was married, so she wouldn't be as good at being a politician or something like that. It was something like that, and I remember thinking, what? And I don't know, none of it just seemed to make sense, so I've come up with a backstory that involves Kyla, Liara's half-sister, to explain why Atheta wasn't around. Oh god, I choked then. God, can you imagine if I choked to death live on a live stream? Jesus Christ, that would be a... That might send the channel viral. YouTuber chokes to death live on the internet. Yes, so what I was saying Bob, our Batarian, yeah, but he's very chill Batarian, he's very laid back. He's kind of cool. But yeah, I've come up with this whole thing of like how the Batarians are on the brink of extinction, and it means they have like lots of arranged marriages to try and produce as many children as possible. So he's got a lot of children to like various wives who he was kind of forced into marrying, and it's just a bit of an odd situation that they've got going on. And then who else have I got? Oh, they've just recruited Shrike, who is a very powerful biotic teenage Solarian with issues, let's say. Erebor, you know Erebor, Char's wife, who you meet on Ilium, and you can persuade her to marry Char. And then Char dies in Mass Effect 3, sadly, and you have to go and tell her. She is our pilot. And she never remarried, and she's sort of like, she's still pining over Char, and she can't bring herself to move on from him. Flare, Samara's daughter, she turns up and ends up joining the crew, and she is a bit of a odd duck. What with her being an odd Yorkshire. So I've sort of expanded the lore of the Odd Yorkshire a little bit, because it's kind of implied that they're very intoxicating to be around, that you're sort of drawn to them, and I've kind of expanded that a little bit so that like Falere, nobody on the ship knows that she's not a Yorkshire except obviously Samara, Shepard, and then Maya figures it out because she's clever, and Kyla also figures it out. Oh no, Liara tells Kyla, that's right, because Liara knows as well. I'm forgetting my own bloody plot points here. But like the general, because it's an Asari crew, right? And the general, and a lot of them are young Asari who were born after the war and raised on Earth, so they were raised by humans. And I've got this whole thing of like they've almost got more human characteristics. Because honestly, I'm trying to explain the whole story, and there's so much going on, I can't even explain it all. Because the whole plot point is that they're trying to reclaim Thessia. Because I don't buy into this idea that after the war, like 2 months later, they've fixed all of the mass relays and everything goes back to normal. I don't buy into that idea at all. I think the fixing of the mass relays would be a very slow procedure, because it would require a lot of EZO. And EZO is a rare thing. And I've got this thing that the mass relay to Asari space has never quite managed to get fixed. So they can't get there. I mean, you can get there, but you can't get there quickly. So Asari space is kind of cut off from everywhere else. And they're going to try and reclaim Thessia. But there's like a whole society has kind of emerged around Thessia, and they don't want to be reclaimed. Because they've got all the EZO, which makes them very powerful. Because Thessia is where most of the EZO comes from. Are you following any of this? So that's kind of the story, is that Shepard is kind of recruited by Tivos, actually, who is staging this expedition to try and reclaim Thessia. So she's got a mostly Asari crew. But a lot of them are young Asari who were born on Earth after the war and were raised kind of around humans, and they're culturally almost more human than they are Asari. So that's kind of thing. And I've also got like the interesting thing of, because Asari live so long, for most other races, it's been 200 years, like whole generations have passed. They don't even remember the war. Whereas the Asari, you've got people who lived through it, who are not even that old by their standards, who are like, this awful traumatic thing happened to the galaxy, and most of the people we're living around don't remember it because they weren't born. Their parents weren't even born. Their grandparents weren't even born. So so the Asari themselves feel very out of place
And then the fact that Thessia has never been properly reclaimed, they don't have a homeworld to go back to. And it's just all, you know. And then you've got Shepard, who is now also 200 years old and has outlived every other human. So she feels even more out of place. So, you know, there's a lot of that going on. Yes, so that's kind of the story, is that they're going to reclaim Thessia, and Thessia is shrouded in mystery. They don't really know who rules it, but they're very secretive. There's a sort of Thessian order who are very secretive, and they don't really know what's going on there, and they can't reach the planet, so they have to try and, like, because the planet's really well defended, so they can't get to it, so they have to try and, like, find other inroads in. Oh man, I'm making it sound so exciting, isn't it? But yes, I was talking about Falea, wasn't I? So yes, none of, like, just the general Asari on the ship know that she's an Ardayokshi, but they're all really drawn to her. And that's quite a dangerous thing, so Samara's trying to keep her separated from them all. But Falea, at this point, would nearly be a matriarch herself. She's not just a young bit thing, and she's got her mother trying to be really controlling of her because, you know, Falea's dangerous, and now she's surrounded by all of these Asari. And, yeah, so it's an odd dynamic that sort of exists with Falea, and Falea may turn out to be a little bit of a villain, and then something awful might happen. I've got so many plot points that I just really want to get round to writing. Just write it, shouldn't I? Write it, Magpie. Stop caring so much about whether it makes any sense or not. Just write what you enjoy writing. Yes, it is very Asari-centric, because I like the Asari. I find them so interesting. They're such an interesting race, I think. There's so much about them that makes them very unique. I mean, when you watch and play and read a lot of sci-fi worlds, a lot of alien races are quite samey. And I think the Asari are a really, really unique one. They're just so interesting. You think their whole life experience is so different to everybody else's. The fact that they live I mean, I know the Krogan can also live for 1,000 years. But with the Asari, there's just some... The fact that they're the only race that can mate with other races. The fact that they can mind meld. The fact that they're monogendered. So, you know... Like, we, particularly as humans, are so obsessed with gender, which is something that they don't even have a concept of. It's just, I find them so interesting. There's so much about them. The fact that they're naturally biotic. And like I said, Samara, I love writing Samara. I think she's fascinating. And I've sort of made that her and Shepard are best friends. Just because I think the friendship with Samara is so interesting in the game. Because Samara is such a tortured character. What with I always love after you finish the Morinth mission and you go and talk to her. And she just went, and she just goes, what is it? I am a ruined vessel of sorrow and regret. And I'm like, Jesus, Samara made it in a bit. But she is, that's her. Like, there's so much tragedy about Samara. And you've got this thing of, like, she's almost 1,000 years old. She's meant to be wise and everything. She doesn't come across as very wise. She comes across as somebody who just, like... Sorry, there's a dog barking. I'm being distracted. Somebody who just is still muddling her way through life and doesn't really know what she's doing. You know, and I love that about her, that she doesn't come across as this kind of wise old matriarch. She comes across as this tired, nearly 1,000-year-old warrior who just can't catch a break. And all of that. But then, when she's with Shepard, particularly in Mass Effect 3, I think, there's a more kind of playful, mischievous side to her that comes out just a little bit, just slightly. And when she talks about, like, when she was a maiden and the things that she did roaming the galaxy, and you think, in some ways, she's actually quite a dark character. There's almost a bit of evilness to her. Well, maybe not evilness, but, like, ruthlessness to her. But then she's all, like, for justice. And I don't know, she's just so complicated and interesting.
But by the time we're in Living Legends, I mean, Shepard is 200 years old. She's changed a lot as well. I did make her... She's still recognisably the Shepard from the games, but she's a tired old woman. She's cranky. She's a bit more jaded. Yeah. She's not very happy about being 200 years old. So she's a bit different. But I sort of like the idea that her and Samara just like bring something out in each other. There's just some kind of understanding there that, you know, they bring out this more kind of casual, playful side in each other. I kind of like that. I've written some brilliant scenes with Shepard and Samara which haven't even been published yet. I just like writing scenes with them. I just think they're so interesting. Samara is the sexiest video game character of all time, says Fred. Sexier than Liara? Frederick? Really? That's another thing. I like writing the relationship between Shepard and Liara as well. Because I like to make that complicated, but in a healthy way. One of the reviews that I got, because quite early on, there's a thing, there's something that Liara did behind Shepard's back, and it's sort of revealed that Liara did this. Shepard finds out that Liara did this thing behind her back, and goes and confronts her. But they don't argue. They have a conversation, an emotional conversation, and then they you know, work it out. And one of the reviews I got was, it was something like, it's so interesting the way you write them, because most people would write something like that in a kind of, oh, you did a thing, and I'm really angry about it, and now we're going to pretend to break up for a while, and then we're going to reconcile later. And that is what a lot of Shepard Liara fanfictions are like. They'll have that moment, and it's like, oh, now we're going to break up because we're really angry with each other. And it's like, that's not what happens in a healthy relationship. Sexier than Liara, says Fred. Oh, Fred, I might have to disown you. I don't find Samara sexy. Is that awful? I think of her as like a grandma. I can't find me grandma sexy. What was I talking about? Shepard and Liara, yes. But I just think, in real relationships, there are things that can't be resolved. Like differences and things that can't be resolved. They have to be compromised on, or just learned to live with. I don't think there's such a thing as a perfect couple who are just absolutely perfect and don't have any issues with each other. And with Shepard and Liara, because they've been together for 200 years, and I've sort of, because I've also got a fanfiction planned for like immediately after the war. So I've got the whole thing planned of like what happens immediately after the war. And I've sort of got that, like, Shepard has a bit of a mental breakdown, to be honest, because Shepard expects to die in the Citadel, and then, of course, I've got that she doesn't, that she survives. I've actually got a whole reason why she survives. It's not just that she survives. There's a whole complicated reason to do with the catalyst as to why she survives. But, well, that's neither here nor there. And she's so racked with guilt over destroying the Geth and everything like that in the process of destroying the Reapers, that she just has a bit of a meltdown. And she's never quite the same after that. And then the fact that she goes on to become functionally immortal, almost, because of our implants. And she ends up, you know, outliving every other human and stuff like that. And she's just not quite the same person that she used to be. And she really struggles with the fact that she's now got this longer lifespan. And she just doesn't know what to do. She feels like she shouldn't be the one who gets to survive. Right? And it's a real turmoil for her. Whereas Liara is so unbelievably grateful
that she doesn't have to lose Shepard, that she doesn't have to try and cram in like a lifetime's worth of love and everything into this short little few decades that a normal human would live. She can see it as nothing but a good thing, and whereas Shepard sees it almost as a curse, as a kind of like, oh, but I have to go on and keep living while everybody else gets to, you know, die. And it's like, it's just a point of conflict between them. They just can't quite reconcile it. But they've just kind of learned to accept it with each other. Although Shepard is going to go on a bit of a journey where by the end of the story she's kind of come around a bit more and she's learned to see it as a gift. So it is eventually going to get, you know. But I think them being together across the course of 200 years, I was thinking, are they going to be permanently together all that time? Or are they going to be off and on? And I was thinking they'll probably be off and on. Because it's such a complicated thing. What they went through together was so complicated. I mean, they basically went through the end of the galaxy together. And I don't know, I think they're such a unique thing. And I think they would probably always be like best friends and life partners in a way. But they would probably go through their times where they're like, we shouldn't be a couple. And they would step back from each other a little bit and go off and have other relationships and then realise, no, do you know what? We work better when we're together. And do that for a while and then think this isn't working. And just like have a bit of that, and it would be complicated and ever changing, you know. And then by the time we've got to Living Legends, they have decided that like they belong together. But it's still complex, and then of course you've also got the added complication of the mind melds as well. Like they're literally bonded mentally, you know. Which creates interesting. I love diving into mind melds as well and trying to like figure out my own lore around them and stuff like that. Because BioWare, as always, gives us a lot of wiggle room to come up with our own conclusions, which I always like. I don't know. There's just so much about it that I find really interesting to write. I always say I'm more interested in writing characters and relationships than I am in writing stories. You know what I mean? I really struggle when it comes to like coming up with storylines. I mean, I do like coming up with storylines, but really I just want to write about the people. I just want to write about the dynamics between them and the conversations and the relationships and the friendships and the rivalries and all of that. Like the storyline is just kind of like, oh, do I need a storyline? I think that's why I struggle to actually finish anything writing wise. Because the story is always a bit of an afterthought with me. But that's just the way it always forms in my head. It's not like I deliberately sit down and go, right, I'll come up with a cast of characters and then I'll think about the story later. The characters just appear in my head. They're just there. And then I'll sort of think, oh shit, if I actually want to write something about this, I need a storyline, don't I? The last of my chocolate. Well, there's more chocolate in the flat because I've always got chocolate in my baking box. My box for baking. That's baking, not bacon. Oh, you're trying to distract me with dirty fan art, are you, Fred? Do you know what? I don't like it when they do Liara with a little girl face. bothers me that. She looks about 12 there. I don't... kind of deal with it, man. Oh, and there he goes again. Come on, Discord, work. Work for me. Oh, God, honestly. Fucking technology. Technology. Oh, that one's a bit nicer. Oh, I like that one. She's got a sexy face. I know what I was going to check. Nothing that you need to know about. Ooh, no. Okay, that's all right then. You got rid of underage Liara. Thanks, Fred. I don't like it when they make them look like little girls. I don't understand what the attraction of that is. You know, it's like it's the anime isn't it? The anime thing, make everybody look like they're 12. It's like, that's not sexy. It's weird. What should we talk about now? In this talky live stream? Do you know what I should do? I should just every week be like, this is going to be a talky live stream. And then, probably what will happen is, I'll start the live stream and I'll be like, oh, should we play the Outer Worlds? Oh, I really fancy playing the Outer Worlds now. Isn't she technically a child when we meet her in Mass Effect 1? Well, that is a great bone of contention. So, what Liara says is that most Asari consider her to be little more than a child, right? But what she is talking about is in terms of her being a doctor who studies archaeology. She's talking about in the academic field, she's seen as little more than a child. That's what she says, right? That doesn't mean that she's actually a child. Now, Samara talks about two things. So her daughters are Ardat Yakshi, and she talks about the Ardat Yakshi, their condition only manifests when they reach maturity, right? And then she talks about how Morinth ran away rather than go to the monastery, and she ran away when she was 40, right? Which Samara says is very young, but I'm assuming about adolescent. So I would reckon that 40 is probably about 14 to 16 in human years. Liara is what, 106? So I would say that Liara is probably in the human equivalent of like early 20s, maybe. So yes, but I mean, a lot of people jump on that line and say, "Oh, she says she's a child." She doesn't say that. What she says is that most Asari consider her to be little more than a child. But she's talking specifically in terms of like her being taken seriously as an archaeologist, right? She's too young to be taken seriously as a serious academic, is what she means, because she's like a prodigy, isn't she? Yeah. Well, I do have to say, I don't like romancing her in Mass Effect 1. It makes me feel uncomfortable, because she is very childlike, but I think it's more just that she's emotionally immature. Because she's matured a lot by the time you get to Mass Effect 2. In fact, her character arc is quite interesting, actually. Because I think the reason that she comes across as a bit immature in Mass Effect 1 is because she's always been quite isolated and like kept herself away from people. Always been a bit of like a social misfit. And then come Mass Effect 2, she's done a lot of growing up, but she's a bit sort of bitter about Shepard dying and everything like that. She's a bit kind of and then I think by Mass Effect 3 she feels quite like she's more comfortable in herself. I think one of the things you notice about Mass Effect 1 is she's very... because she's hopelessly in love with Shepard. Kind of regardless of what you do, she's hopelessly in love with Shepard. And kind of just willing to do whatever Shepard wants. Because it's just like, if you do pursue the romance, it's just like she'll do whatever you want because she's just hopelessly in love with you. And then by Mass Effect 2, she's a bit more, like, not just willing to, like, I was going to say lie down and roll over. Imagine what Fred will do with that. You know what I mean? Like, she's more herself. And then I think by Mass Effect 3, she's really properly, you know... Oh, there's Scorpio in the background. Yeah, I like Mass Effect 3 Liara the best. She's my favourite Liara. I like Mass Effect 3 Liara. Hopefully in love, is that what I said? She's hopefully in love with Shepard. What now? What now? What now? Tali Garrus dad, yeah, I like Tali and Garrus as well. Which is odd, because usually when BioWare pair two companions together, I don't like it. I don't like Dorian and Iron Bull. I don't like that at all. Dorian deserves better. I don't like Isabella and Fenris, even though it's just a fling. It's not like a proper romance. I don't know why. I just don't like it. I'm like, nope. And then in Veilguard, it was so weird because I'd read interviews where they'd said if you don't romance certain companions, they might shack up together, right? And it's only Nev and I can't even remember his friggin' name. Lucanus? Is that it? Fucking hell. And Harding and Tosh. I thought there was going to be more potential pairings than that. Emmerich can romance, what's his name? The elf guy. Can't remember his name. But he's not a companion. You know what I mean? The elf. What's his name, man? From the Veil Jumpers. I've only played the game once, man. I need to play it a few more times. Sarah and... It wasn't Sarah and Harding, it was Sarah and Dagna who shacked up in Inquisition. Yes, so Nev and Lucanus can get together. And Tash and Harding can get together. Right? Those are the only pairings. I got the impression there was going to be more potential pairings than that. But those are the only ones. And I was like, of all the possible pairings... I mean, they all get on so well in Veilguard. A little bit too well, we could say. But there was so... As I was playing it, there were so many potential pairings I could see that would have been really good. And the two that they went for I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Nev and Lucanus at all. At all. I don't like that. I'm like, now I don't know if it's just because I'm hopelessly in love with Nev and I don't want anybody to touch her, but I don't know, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And then Harding and Tash, it's not so much that I didn't like them together, it's just I just thought that there were better pairings for both of them. Like Tosh and Balara, I think, would have been good. Maybe. I think Balara would have been good with just about anybody. I could see her and Nev together. I could see her and Emmerich together. I thought Harding and Davrin, though. I thought that would have been a good pairing. I don't think Harding and Davrin would have been good. I think that would have been great. Or even Nev and Davrin. I would have accepted that. Not Lucanus, though. I mean, he's got a demon in his head. Talk about a red flag. If a guy has a demon in his head, that is a red flag. However. I think the whole having a demon in his head thing was very glossed over. I think we needed to take that a bit more seriously than we did, but you know. Yeah, no. But I'm very, very much not a fan of the Nev and Lucanus one. Absolutely not. Nah. I think that's a recipe for disaster. Nah. Nah. But anyway, I do like Talia and Garrus together, though. Most of the sexy Belgod fan art involves Emmerich. I know, he stole a lot of people's hearts, didn't he? Which is odd. I tell you what else is odd about Veilguard. So, before Veilguard, pretty much the only person we'd ever met from Navarra is Cassandra. There's Cassandra, and there's the guy who teaches you the necromancy specialisation in Inquisition. I think those are the only two from Navarra. And they both have the sort of accent. I don't know what it's meant to be. Slightly kind of Germany, European-y sort of general accent, right? And then in Veilguard, you go to Navarra and you meet a lot of Navarrans. And none of them have the same accent as Cassandra. So what the hell is Cassandra's accent? It particularly annoyed me because I've got a Navarran character in my Ostwick fanfiction who I describe as having a very strong Navarran accent, which I'm imagining being like Cassandra's accent, but then it's like none of the other Navarrans apparently have that accent. Sorry, I just like looking at myself sometimes. Making faces. Baldur's Gate 3 didn't romance anyone and Withers called me out for it. Really? How dare a gamer not want to romance someone? How dare you not be obsessed with all the sexy fan art? Oh. So I'm sort of romancing Shadowheart. I kind of liked the idea of Karlach, but I think Karlach's becoming my bestie instead. As much as I do love her and think she's fabulous. I mean, she's literally on fire. But I don't know. At first I didn't like Shadowheart. I found her a little bit too aloof and suspicious. But then I'm a bit like, oh, I'm quite enjoying it. I'm quite enjoying the Shadowheart romance. But then I got distracted by Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so I haven't been back to it in a while. Sure, I was about to say something else about Baldur's Gate 3 there, and I can't now remember what it was. Gone out of my brain. Gone. You know when you're trying to catch on to something, I'm like, I'm sure I was going to say something, and it's there. It's there, I just can't quite get it. What was I going to say? God knows. It's gone now. Gone forever. Hey, yeah. Oh. What should we talk about now then? Oh. Friends uploading things to the Discord. I can't be bothered to lean forward and hit the button on my laptop, so I'll look at it on my phone. That's where we are this Saturday afternoon. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Shiala, that's another Asari. I love the green Asari. One of my many half-written fan fictions is a rewriting of the Shadowbroker DLC where Shepard has a fling with Shiala. You should have been able to have a fling with Shiala in Mass Effect 2. They teased it and then they didn't take it anywhere. Oh, did you know? I learned this the other day and I was like, oh my god. There's a condition that people who ingest too much silver get. I can't remember what it's called, but it turns their skin blue. See if I can find pictures and I'll put them on the Discord. Because there's a thing that people used to ingest silver as like remedies for things. But the thing with silver is that your body has no use for it. Your body can't do anything with silver. But it also has no way of getting rid of it. So if you ingest silver or inject silver into you, it just sits there because your body can't use it and it can't get rid of it. And if you accumulate enough of it in your organs and things, your organs will turn blue. But if you really like ingest a lot of it, your skin turns blue. Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. Blue skin from silver. And they're blue! I don't know how many of these pictures are real, to be fair. Most of them are more just kind of a greyish. Well, to be honest, it's more of a... Wait, it's more of a silver, to be honest. I thought I could hear something there. I thought there was something playing on my... computer. I knew you'd know what it was called, soulmate. You know everything, don't you? You're just a font of knowledge. Download image. Have you downloaded? Have you downloaded? You have downloaded. Good. Well done. It says you're still downloading. It says you're still downloading and then it says you've downloaded. You're giving me mixed signals here. No, that's not what I wanted at all. That's not what I... There she is. There. There are other pictures that are more extreme than that, but I don't know how real they are. This is the thing with the internet, isn't it? You don't know how real pictures are. But I thought, how cool. The moment I heard that, it was a podcast I was listening to. Talking about it. One of my history podcasts. I can't remember why they were talking about people adjusting silver, but they were something to do with weird medical remedies or something like that. Oh, was it remedies for the Black Death? I did listen to a podcast about weird remedies they had for the Black Death. I've been that. I listen to so many. I just pick up random facts from here, there, and everywhere. But I thought that was very cool. I was like, oh my god, real life Asari. I'll never forget the time I met Liara in a lucid dream. It was one of the most surreal experiences of my life. Didn't last very long because I was freaking out so much about the fact that I'd met Liara that I woke up quite quickly. But, oh man. I need to try and get back into lucid dreaming. When I did it the first time around, I wasn't working. I was going through a period of not working because there was shit going on. But it was easier, I think, when you don't have you don't have to be up for work in the morning, because lucid dreaming as a whole, you do meditation and stuff like that and all sorts to try and learn how to dream lucidly. And it takes quite a lot of mental willpower. And I think when you're working and you have to get enough sleep to be at work and stuff like that, it's kind of harder to do. But I used to do a bit of lucid dreaming. And the trick to lucid dreaming is you've got to learn to recognize when you're in a dream. Right. So you have to become very aware of your dreams, so that when you're dreaming them, you can sort of think, this doesn't make sense, maybe this is a dream, and then you realize you're dreaming, and then you become lucid within the dream, you see. And then you can control... You can't control the dream so much, but you control yourself within the dream. And I was walking... This was the dream I was having, is that I was walking along with Liara, right? And we were talking. And then I suddenly thought, oh my god, that's Liara. This must be a dream. And I turned and I went, this is a dream. And she went, I wondered how long it would take you to notice. Like that. And I went lucid and just stared at her for about maybe 5 seconds and then woke up. Honestly, one of the highlights of my life. I met Liara in a lucid dream. That was my main reason for wanting to learn how to lucid dream, you know, so I could meet video game characters. Not joking. Genuinely true. Apparently, a big reason why a lot of people learn to lucidly dream is so they can have sex with celebrities in their dreams. And I'm like, I can't think of a single celebrity I would particularly seek out in a dream to have sex with, to be honest. But if I could meet video game characters, not so much to have sex with them. I just think it's cool to, like, because lucid dreams are so weird. They're like more real than reality. It's really weird. I don't know if it's because you know when you're dreaming and it's all just a bit hazy and kind of like weird and strange. When you become lucid within the dream, it doesn't stay hazy and weird and strange. It becomes so real and like so. But I think because it's a reality that exists only in your head, so it's not limited by reality, if you see what I mean. So when you're in a lucid dream, if you touch something, it feels just so much more, I don't know, vivid. Everything's more vivid. Colours are brighter. Noises are more intense. I don't know. It's so hard to explain. Everything, it's like perfect clarity. It's not like a weird, hazy dreamscape. It's like absolute perfect clarity. And in this world of absolute perfect clarity that feels more real than reality, an Asari was stood in front of me. It was... Oh, man. I can't even explain it. Can't even explain it. And it was so weird. It was such a moment. I was like... So strange. But what I remember was, it was during when I was writing the Kalisa story. And when I was writing the Kalisa story, I spent a lot of time really thinking about what an Asari would look like in real life. Because obviously when we see them, they're an animated character on a computer screen. You know. It's like trying to imagine what a cartoon character would look like in real life. You know what I mean? It's like, so, you know, and I remember I would sit, because there's a whole scene where Jasana, I think it's after her and... No, Kalisa even. After Kalisa and Jasana sleep together, I think it is. Where Kalisa is sitting and just looking at her. And I was trying to, like, really think, like, what an Asari would actually look like if they were real and in front of you. Like, a tangible thing that you could, like, touch. What they would actually be like. And it was sort of in the midst of doing all of that I ended up having this dream where there was an actual Asari in front of me. Oh, man. Oh, what a moment. Still think about it even now. Like, I met Liara once. Once I met her. Oh. I want to meet Samara. I want to meet Samara in a lucid dream and manage to stay asleep, because that's the really difficult bit, you know. It's hard enough becoming lucid, but then staying asleep once you've become lucid, because usually you're just freaking out about the fact that you've managed to become lucid. You're going, oh my god, I've done it, oh, I'm awake. Fuck. Honestly, I would love to meet Samara in a lucid dream and just sit and talk to her. I think that would be the most amazing thing. Put that on my bucket list. Meet Samara in a lucid dream. Drunk all my tea. All my tea's gone. Oh no. Oh my god, we're going to forget what poor Titwillow looks like, aren't we? Be that long since we've seen her. It's alright. We'll play the Outer Worlds next week. I mean it this time. I mean it. We will. We will. Probably. Maybe. Might play Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I don't know. The funny thing is now, when I'm playing games just in my own time, where like stuff's happening, and sometimes I think of like really funny things that I would have said in that moment if I was live streaming, and I'm like, oh man, that would have been really funny. Or sometimes I even actually say things out loud, and I'm like, oh, that was really funny. Nobody heard it because I'm not live streaming. All this comedy gold wasted on the cats. Cats don't appreciate my comedy gold. Cables keep thinking against me plate and making noise. I don't like it. Stop it. Tea with Samara, a good idea for a short fan fiction. I can't do short fan fictions, Fred. You know what would happen? They'd end up going off on some epic treasure hunt across the galaxy or something. Actually, I do have a collection of little snippets between Shepard and Samara, because like I say, I love writing Shepard and Samara. Set during Mass Effect 2. And I came up with this thing, because my canon Shepard is a Vanguard. And Vanguards are biotics. But the one biotic ability they don't seem to have access to is the singularity. So I kind of came up with this whole story that like Shepard has just never been able to make a singularity. She's tried so many times and she just can't do it. Nobody's managed to teach her how to do it. She just can't wrap her head around how to make a singularity. So she goes to Samara and asks Samara to teach her how to make a singularity. And I did all these little snippets of them having like lessons together, where Samara tries to teach Shepard to make a singularity, but it's like each one is at a different point in the game, so like major plot points are woven into it. You know, they'll sort of be talking about things that have happened while they're doing it. But then some of those plot points are things that only happen in my headcanon. Like, for example, Shepard's fling with Shiala is one of the things that comes up. And it's like, that didn't happen in the game, so I always feel like, would it be weird to publish it? I don't know. Alright, Starsies. Oh, can you see her? There she is. Look how cute she is. Oh, wrong way. Look how cute you are, Starsies. You're so cute, aren't you? You are! You are so cute. Yeah. That sounded like she said no then. No, not cute. You are cute. You're such a cute little putty. I mean, quite a big putty, really. But still cute. You are. Oh, you were nearly going to clean your arse there, and then you thought better of it. You thought, no, I'm live on the internet, I'm not going to clean my arse. Not live on the internet. That's worse than eating a sandwich. Like what I started this live stream off doing. Actually, the last live stream, because it crashed, didn't it? Oh, Starsies. You are so cute and beautiful. Give those ears a good wash. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Meow, meow. You okay, sweetie? You want to come up here? Have a bit of cat cam. Coming up. Come on. No. Okay. Come on then. Come up here. You want to come up here? Come up here. Stop, come up here. Come up here. Stop. Stop. Come up here. Stop. 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 Come on then. Up here. Stop. 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 Don't chew that. Come here. Come here. Come on. Stop. Stop. Honestly, come here. The one nearly ran your tail over then. That would have been bad. Come here. Come this way. Stop. Come this way. Come on. She just ate a crumb off my plate. Come up here. Stop. Well, okay, she's gone. She disappeared somewhere. She's gone somewhere over there. So. Oh, tired. It's no good coming back to work after 2 weeks off. Jesus. I've only been back a week, I'm bloody knackered. My feet are killing. Honestly. You know, I was actually doing quite a lot of walking while I was off work, because always when I come back to work, like after, you'll do like half a shift and your feet are killing you when you've been, even if you've just been off for like a week. So I tried to do quite a lot of walking so it wouldn't be so bad coming back to work, but it was still bad. And then I got back into my exercises, my weight training, because I meant to do it twice a week. But I'd only done it like twice in the past month, and even when I was doing it, I wasn't doing it properly. I was doing like bare minimum just to like, you know, keep myself going. And then on Wednesday? Yes, Wednesday, I was like, right, you need to just get back into it properly. So I did it all properly, and then Thursday and yesterday, fucking hell. Me thighs were bloody killing us. Like across the top, you know, like when you're trying to stand up and then go down. It's just like, ah. I mean, they're fine now. Yesterday, though, Jesus. It's like an old woman hobbling about. Dear me. What? If you're not going to come up here and give cat cam, then you can't sit down there and squeak. I'm sorry, Star. Those are my terms. Those are my rules. They are. She actually just shook her head at me. She went like that when I said they are. Like, no, they're not. Arsehole. Oh. Hey, dear me. Daft cat over there. Idea for future live streams, one-off challenge runs on games. Oh, that's a good idea. I still want to do a permadeath for Dishonored. And that would be fun. I don't know how long we'd last, but I think it would be fun. Oh, off she goes. Starsies. Oh, Starsies. Oh dear. What should I do tomorrow? Sunday tomorrow. So I don't really want to go anywhere because everywhere will be busy. I mean, I might go to the beach. What's the weather like tomorrow? Check my weather app, which is never accurate, so I don't know why I check it. It's going to be 14 degrees on average and cloudy. I'm not going to have a highlights video to do, am I? So I won't need to do that. I could do some baking. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to proofread me fanfiction chapters, don't I? So I can put them on the Discord. That's what I'll do tomorrow. That won't take up the whole day. I've hit a bit of an impasse in life. Do you ever do that where you hit a bit of an impasse where you're just sort of like, I don't seem to have any immediate goals on the horizon. I'm just sort of like plodding along. Not that there's anything wrong with plodding along. Plodding along can be quite fun, but sometimes, did you ever get to moments where you sort of feel like you're waiting for something to happen? It's like, I need a bit of something. I need something. I need something. I don't know what. I'm thinking of doing karate. My friend has been going to karate for the past few weeks, and she was like, you should come with me. I was like, yeah, I've always wanted to do karate, but you know what I'm like with walking into rooms full of people that I don't know and starting something new. So I've always been a little bit, but I always like the idea of doing some kind of martial art. I don't know whether to do it or not. I know I should, but you know what I'm like. Cats running around in the background, Jesus Christ. Little monsters. Keep trying to get a look at the back of my hair. This is exactly what it's like in the Mass Effect 1 character creator, you know, when you're trying to get Shepard to move her head so you can see the back of her head. And she'll only move her head that far so you can't see the back of her head. Who the fuck makes a character creator where you can't see the back of the character's head? Who did that? The quest for the elusive spark, that's it, isn't it? That's... that is life! The quest for the elusive spark. There must be more than this. Although this is perfectly fine, there's nothing wrong. I'm not sort of saying that my life's awful or anything like that. I just, you know, need a bit of something. There are martial arts class that involves fighting with large hammers. I don't know. There is a sword fighting thing. I can't remember what it's called. There is a martial art that involves it's sword fight. But it's not like fencing. It's like proper sword fight. I think it's like, is it called European sword fighting or something like that? Like how the knights of old would have fought with swords. Like, I can't remember what it's called. But there are classes in Newcastle. But they're quite late at night is the only problem. Can't remember what it's called. People can Google it. HEMA, that's it. Soulmate. How do you know everything, Soulmate? Jesus Christ! Soulmate just knows everything. I'm not convinced Soulmate's a person. I think Soulmate might be an AI. Who just knows everything. Oh. Oh. Oh, those putties. Hi! I did give them the catnip dreamies before we started the live stream, which was maybe a bit of a gamble. Although that was ages ago. Catnip will have worn off by now. Catnip tends to make them sleepy though, rather than making them hyper. So, you know. Nickname was Trivial Pursuit, I can imagine. Oh my god, we meowed in unison! We're in sync, Star.
Oh, there's Skull Pete. Oh, hang on. Move my chair the wrong way. Oh, we just missed him. We just caught his tail. I keep moving my chair the wrong way because left and right confuse me when I'm looking on the screen because it's all back to front and upside down and higgledy-piggledy. Oh, Fred's gonna leave us. Fred, how could you leave us? It is nearly 7 o'clock. Jesus Christ, how is it nearly 7 o'clock? Doesn't feel like it should be that late. It's because it's still late outside. That's why I don't like summer. I don't like the fact that it stays late. Late doesn't feel late anymore. Late feels early. Messes your sleep pattern up. Like winter, like it cold and dark. You know this. Cold and dark and rainy. Can I be doing with all this sunlight? See those cats in the background. What are you doing, pair of numpties? Arseholes. What are they? Arseholes. Very cute arseholes, though. So they get away with it. What should I do after the live stream then? I mean, I usually go to bed about 8 o'clock. Because I'm an old woman. I get up super early for work. So I usually go to bed about 8. So I should probably just watch something. What should I watch? Have I Got News for You was on yesterday. I could watch that on the old iPlayer. I like a bit of Have I Got News for You. Trouble is, it's one of those ones I never like to just watch one. It's one of those shows where you're like, it gets to the end and you're like, oh, I want another one. So then I go back and watch old ones, and then before I know it, it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm still watching them. Actually, that never happens. I never stay awake that long. Do you know what? Maybe we should, you know how I keep saying I should do live streams where I just lay out me Dragon Age world state? Should we just do that for a few weeks? Since I keep kind of being all like, oh, I don't feel like playing the Outer Worlds, I just feel like sitting here and talking. Like, what if for the next few weeks we actually just plan to do live streams where I just lay out my world state for Dragon Age? I just get it all down, because then they would be talking live streams, but they would be deliberate talking live streams that I'd be doing like for an actual reason. Should we do that? Rather than pretending that I'm going to play the Outer Worlds. And we will get back to the Outer Worlds. I'm not going to abandon Titwillow. I know I've abandoned a lot of series in the past, but I'm not going to abandon Titwillow. I wouldn't do that to her. But I just feel like maybe that's what we need right now. And by we, I mean me. Yeah, we should do that, shouldn't we? Let's do that. Let's do that, shall we? Yeah, we're going to do that. Probably what will happen is next week I'll be like, oh man, I really want to play the Outer Worlds. And I'll be like, forget about the Dragon Age thing, we're going to play the Outer Worlds.
Oh, fickle, fickle old me. Ooh. But I kind of like that idea. I like that idea. We'll do that. We'll pencil that in, I think, for the next couple of weeks or so. Because I was explaining at the beginning to Frederick that the 7th of June, which is a Saturday, I am going to be busy, hopefully. So I won't be able to do the live stream on the Saturday, so I'll do it on the Sunday instead. So should we do between now and then? We'll do some Dragon Age talkie live streams. So like next week, the week after, and the week after that. So like 3 weeks we'll do 3 weeks of Dragon Age talkie live streams. Should we do that? And then we might go back to the old worlds. Because I do want to keep playing as Titwillow. I do. I don't know. I can't quite find the motivation. We should do that. We'll do that. I have spoken. Oh, I might go and buy some new stationery for it. I'll buy a nice ring binder to put all the things in. Highlighters. I love stuff like that. I love a project. Buying lots of things for it. Because I've wanted to lay out my whole plans for my Dragon Age world for so long. Right, shall we wrap things up then, since we're approaching 7 o'clock? 7 o'clock! Jesus. We'll wrap up this very eventful live stream. And next week, we will return at the same time, 3:30 GMT, and we will do a Dragon Age talkie live stream where I will plan out all of my protagonists and what's going to happen in all of my canon world and all of my original characters and my own head canon and my own personal Dragon Age history and all of that stuff. We will do that next week. Possibly. Or maybe I'll just go, hey, you know what? Kind of fancy the Outer Worlds. No, I won't. We will do the Dragon Age stuff next week. That'll be good. That'll be exciting. But, yes. So, until then, my darlings, my two beautiful darlings who have stayed with me through this talkie live stream, I shall say farewell to you, my dears.